Imagine being lost in the vast African wilderness only to wake up surrounded by a pride of lions. What do you think would happen next in the heart of Africa? Beneath the relentless heat of the midday sun lies the immense expanse of the Lagari Wildlife Reserve. This land where nature holds dominion is both bountiful and harsh. Life thrives, but survival demands the utmost resilience. It is within this vast wilderness that an extraordinary tale unfolds, one not just of survival, but the unexpected and profound bonds that can form between humankind and the wild. Jabari, a young boy of 12, lived on the fringes of this untamed land where each day is marked by the struggle for sustenance. On one fateful day, drawn by the allure of the wilderness, he wandered too far, losing his way. Weak, parched, and on the brink of collapse, he stumbled forward, the weight of exhaustion pulling at his every step. The sun bore down on him mercilessly, and with each step his body faltered as he fell to the ground, his consciousness slipping away. The wild world around him remained eerily still, but deep in the tall grasses, unseen by the boy, a powerful force was beginning to stir, one that would alter his fate forever. That very day Jabari was assigned a simple task: to gather firewood for his family. It was a familiar chore he had done countless times before, but today something unusual happened. A playful and agile troop of monkeys caught his attention as they leaped from tree to tree. Their chatter and the rustling leaves beckoned him to follow, venturing further than he had ever gone before. With each step he strayed further from the safety of his village, drawn by the infectious energy of the monkeys. Time slipped away unnoticed, and soon he lost sight of the familiar sights of his village. The trees grew denser, the air more stifling, and the monkey's calls faded into the distance. Jabari stopped and looked around, a growing sense of unease washing over him. He had gone too far. Panic began to rise in his chest as he realized he was lost. In desperation, he ran, hoping to find his way back, but the wilderness seemed to close in around him. The path ahead was a maze, and every direction seemed the same. By midday, Jabari encountered the first sign that the wild was not as welcoming as he had imagined. A hyena, its eerie laughter echoed through the canopy, a sound that sent shivers down his spine. The creature, sleek and cunning eyed Jabari with predatory eyes. Fear surged through the boy as he turned and fled, but the wilderness was a labyrinth, and his frantic escape only further disoriented him. As the hours passed, exhaustion began to set in his body, his energy waning with each step. In the heat of the afternoon, Jabari tripped over a rock and fell to the ground. It was then that the full weight of his situation dawned on him. He was alone, he had no food, no water, and no way to find his way back. Fatigue overcame him, his body too weak to continue in the silence of the wilderness. Jabari's world went still as he slipped into unconsciousness, unaware that the wild world around him was about to change his life forever. As the day wore on, the silence of the wilderness was broken only by the soft footfalls of a group of creatures on the move. A pride of lions, kings of the savannah, emerged from the tall grass, their golden eyes scanning the land with quiet authority. Their gaze sharp and unyielding fell upon the boy lying motionless near the rocks. The lionesses, graceful and deadly in their movements, approached Jabari. With a slow measured gait they sniffed the air, their nostrils flaring as they circled the boy, their breath warm and tinged with the scent of the savannah. Brushed against Jabari's skin, they did not see him as a threat nor as prey. Instead they seemed drawn to him, sensing something beyond the ordinary. But it was the pride leader Seko who commanded attention. He was an old lion, his once mighty form scarred by battles past. His coat was graying, and his eyes were filled with the wisdom of years spent in the harshest of environments. Seko did not approach with the predatory instinct one might expect of a lion. No, he paused, lowered his great head, and exhaled deeply, a low rumbling sound that seemed to resonate through the air. There was something profound in that moment, something beyond the simple instincts of the wild. So did not see Jabari as prey, but as something else, something unfamiliar, something deserving of protection. The lionesses formed a loose circle around the boy, standing guard with a quiet determination. The hyenas that had stalked the area were kept at bay, their presence a distant threat, but one that was held at a distance by the lion's presence for reasons known only to the animals of the savannah. The lions did not strike, instead they watched over Jabari, standing sentinel in the vastness of the African wilderness. Meanwhile, Daniel, an experienced ranger of the reserve, had been scouring the land in search of Jabari since the early hours of the day. His eyes trained to read the subtle signs of the wild, search for tracks, broken branches, and any clues that might lead him to the boy. The wilderness, vast and untamed, was a place that could easily swallow those who were unprepared. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Daniel's concern deepened. The signs of a hyena's passage and the circling vultures overhead pointed to something darker, an omen of impending danger. His heart raced as he followed the trail, hoping beyond hope that he was not too late. Then in the distance he saw it, a shape lying on the ground, the boy Jabari, and surrounding him a pride of lions. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. His instincts told him to act swiftly, to intervene, but something about the scene before him stopped him in his tracks. The lions were not attacking, they were not charging, their eyes not filled with the rage one would expect from predators. Instead, they lay calmly around the boy, their golden eyes fixed upon him with an eerie quietness. The great lion locked eyes with Daniel. It was as though an unspoken understanding passed between them, an ancient primal bond that transcended the boundaries of human and animal. Daniel, in that moment, realized that the lions were not threats, they were guardians, and so he waited with careful steps. Daniel approached the boy. He spoke softly, his voice low and soothing, as though to reassure both Jabari and the lions. The lionesses hesitated for a moment, their golden eyes shifting between the boy and the man, but Seko, the old lion, let out a low rumble, a sound that carried weight and authority. Slowly the lions began to retreat one by one until the boy was left alone with a sense of urgency. Daniel moved to Jabari's side. He checked the boy for signs of injury. His body was frail, his skin cracked and dehydrated, but there were no visible wounds without hesitation. Daniel lifted Jabari onto his back and began the long trek back to the jeep. As they moved through the dense undergrowth, Daniel glanced over his shoulders. The lion stood at the edge of the clearing, watching them from a distance. His gaze was unwavering, his posture regal. It was as though the lion was waiting, ensuring that Jabari would be safe. And as Daniel drove toward the village, he knew that the wild had done something remarkable that day. When they returned to the village, the air was thick with emotion. Jabari's mother, overcome with joy and relief, clutched her son tightly in her arms. The villagers gathered, their faces filled with wonder as Daniel recounted the extraordinary events of the day. Some of the elders spoke in hushed tones, suggesting that the lions were spirits sent to protect the boy, guardians from a world beyond human understanding. Others dismissed it as mere chance, but Daniel, having witnessed the extraordinary behavior of Alliance, knew that there was something deeper at work, something beyond the reach of human logic. That night, as the village slept beneath the star-filled sky, Jabari lay awake, reflecting on the events of the day. He had been saved by the very creatures that were often feared by those in his village. In the quiet of the night, he dreamed of golden eyes watching over him, a silent promise that the wild, though dangerous, is also full of wonder. In the heart of Africa, where the wild reign supreme, a young boy found himself at the mercy of nature's most formidable predators, only to be spared. Was it instinct, an unspoken bond, or something beyond our understanding? The mysteries of the animal kingdom continue to astonish us, reminding us of the deep, ancient connections we share with the wild. If you were moved by this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more incredible tales of nature's wonders. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious about the world around us.